7:14 on a Monday morning. Mike is over at Mike number 2 for this week, and I'm listening. I think it's probably this week. Rosehead. It's Monday Minute Mechanics. I give it
Monday's Minute Mechanic moment
with Mike.
There we go.
Well, look at the past weekend. The Hogs are the World Series.
Yep.
St. Louis took what, three
out of four from the Dodgers.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Man, that's St. Louis.
And we got a Triple Crown winner. Did you see the Belmont?
Yeah.
5.5 links.
Yep. Let me tell you what I thought was an interesting story, and this is just me. And I'm not a horse racing fan, so I'm not an expert at it. So this is just something that I read. And American Pharoah, he won by
5.5 links.
5.5 links. If he had been in the race with Secretariat in '73, Secretariat would have beaten him by 20 links.
Whoa!
I read that yesterday. That's how fast that horse was.
Wow!
They said if comparing the times that both horses ran, Secretariat would have beaten him by 20 lengths.
Wow!
That was a freak of nature horse right there. But congratulations to American Pharoah. That's been a long time coming.
Well, to put that in our terms, I wonder how many horsepower those horses are.
Quite a few, I can tell you.
He was trotting down the track.
Yes, he was,
wow.
man.
So what's going on at Minute Mechanic?
Man, we were busy last week. This hot weather is I've said it 100 times. Hot weather or real cold weather is hard on vehicles, and,
sure.
and whichever way it goes, We were busy last week, and it's going to be the same this week because we got a lot of hot weather coming up, and we're starting to see more air conditioning issues come in the door. A little bit of engine overheating and things like that, that
Yep.
people may have been sliding by with when it was 70. Now that it's getting up around or pushing 90, things aren't so kosher now.
Yeah, I was watching the old temperature gauge yesterday because my thermometer was showing anywhere from 88 to 91 degrees coming across Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois,
Right.
Missouri. You get in that Delta area, flat Missouri, Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky still has a few hills right there at the Ohio River, but once you get over around Dexter and Sykeston and Poplar Bluff,
It's about like a pool table over there.
at least.
Yep, it sure is.
So, got a couple of questions.
Okay.
And I started to say, were you in the van with me? I've got the same thing. I'll go have a tire rebalance. My car has a shake, a vibration at about 60 miles an hour. Alignment? Balance?
Yeah, I had a couple of people here lately ask me that same question. My car's got a shake at 60, and they've called me asking about doing an alignment. And my opinion on that will be if you've got a vibration at a speed like 60 miles an hour, it's going to be a tire balance issue. And I've recommended those people to go to a tire shop, pick somebody with a good tire balancer and go in there and let them go to work. Alignments, the alignment side of things really doesn't cause a vibration unless there's something.
It's got to be pretty severe.
It's something extreme to cause something to cause a vibration. And again, 99 out of 10 times when you've got a vibration, seems like at around the speed limit. Whatever speed I want to drive is where the vibration's at. It's pretty well the way that goes. And you can figure on going to see a tire shop and having a rebalance done. And, that's pretty simple stuff and pretty easy to do and doesn't take too long. And I bet we'll get rid of that vibration.
Yep, I bet it does. What's the deal with so many new cars having push-button start? That's not a new thing. Do you remember the old international pickup trucks from the early 50s, how you had to press the starter on the floor?
Well, I remember, and I don't know the make of the vehicle, I remember an uncle of some sort on one side or the other of my family having put a start button on the floor.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think International did that. I don't remember.
I don't remember
on Chevrolets. I don't remember it on Ford. Dodge might have, but I think International did that.
Well, on addressing that question, we are seeing more and more new cars, vans, not pickup trucks yet really, but the cars and vans, you're seeing more and more of them with push button start, where you have a fob in your pocket or in your purse. A lot of the ladies just stick them in their purse. They don't ever worry about it after that. And when you hop in there, you hit a button and the thing, put your foot on the brake. You got to have that foot on the brake first and then hit the button and it starts up.
Yep.
And my thinking on that is we're seeing this as a answer to all this key ignition switch problems
from GM.
That GM and not just GM, some other people have had some ignition switch problems. And this push button thing helps get rid of that because we can't weigh it down with 5 or 6 pounds of extra keys, and cause stress on that ignition switch.
Sure.
And Lord, don't nobody take it personally when I said that about the keys, because I've got a whole ring of keys.
Yeah, I did take 3 or 4
that I've
off
got
my
about
key ring.
4 keys that I know what they fit.
Yeah.
And the other 40 that's on that ring, I don't know what they fit, but I hate to throw them away.
About a month ago, what's that? What's it? I don't know. I don't care. You know, I checked the one I thought was the door key. That's what I left out there. Yeah.
I got keys to the shop and I got keys to the house. Once I get past that, I don't have a clue what they fit.
Yeah.
But that's a part of it. You know, the push button stuff, a lot of people like it because it's halfway convenient. You know, again, put the fob in your pocket, put it in your purse, whatever you need. Hop in there and you don't have to stick a key into none of that stuff, and just hit a button and away you go.
Well, you know, in the space age days of the 50s, the old 57, my 57 Chrysler was press the neutral button.
Uh-huh.
The key actually was just an on and off switch. It had no start function, but you had to, and that was a safety feature too, because by pressing the neutral button, you weren't in drive or reverse,
right?
You know, in those days. And I think Edsel might have done it because they had the push button transmission in the middle of the steering wheel. I think you pressed neutral on that one too. I don't remember. It's been a while.
Everybody puts their buttons in strange places. You know, it's like you're talking about there, and even on the modern cars, you have to look around sometimes. When I get in a car to pull it in the shop, and
really,
they're not putting them all in the same place. Lord, no, we can't do that. And you see some that are up where you would think a key should be, kind of on the dash, and then there are some of them, Volkswagen, Mazda, some of them. The push button is down almost towards the console, down not that far from where the gear selector's at in the floor. The push button's down there, and you know they move them around. So,
well, even the 57 Studebaker Hawk we had one time, the key was at the extreme left lower part of the dashboard by the door.
Yep.
Yeah, they could do some crazy things with these things. Well, that's probably a good idea though, and that's of course it's more advanced than what we had in the 50s because that was nothing more than a mechanical relay.
As long as, for the most part, Dale, as long as you've got good batteries in that key fob, and these cars will let you know when that battery's getting low, because I've gotten into some people's cars with that fob, and it'll when you get in there, it'll flash a little message on the dash that tells you the battery's getting weak. As long
now,
as
when you say
keep
key fob, for folks that don't know,
you know, everybody has seen these little clickers, you know, that you've had for years where you can lock and unlock the doors. It's just that's a fob. Mm-hmm. Hangs on your key ring. Now you don't have so much of a key ring, you know, you just have the fob, and it gets. And
basically, what that has is an identification radio signal between.
It's transmitting some sort of a signal, and when you get in the car, the computer and all in the car recognizes that, and it frees everything up to work. Is what you see motorcycles now that have this. So you don't have to worry with keys all the time. You know, when you got gloves on and different things, we see bikes now with fobs, and you get on there and away you go. Start it up and away you go. And now that, you know, the cars, of course, this has been going on now probably 5-6 years. We're starting to see more and more of the push button starts on cars. And once something like that gets rolling, it probably will keep on rolling.
Well, you know, and it's what that will be once the key fob says, hey, Mike's sitting in his Ram truck, he can press the button. You press the button says, okay, relay, I need you to engage this. And, you know, it's a series of just electronics rather than a lot of mechanical movements.
Mm-hmm. We've always been a couple of months ago now, my wife and I were in Springfield, and we were looking around at cars just for something to do. And when we went by, and this one guy had this Jeep Renegade, and he said, you can't lock your keys in it. Really? And I may be telling this story wrong. I don't remember if it was the Jeep Renegade. It was some sort of a Chrysler product. I'll say it that way. You can't lock your keys in it. And if anybody knew how much trouble I'd had with my wife locking her keys and things, I thought, man, this is great. And he grabbed the keys, threw them in the trunk, and shut the trunk lid. And in about 2 seconds, the trunk lid popped back open.
The key fob told it.
And I said, one more time, and he shut the trunk lid, and about 2 seconds later, it unlocked and popped back up. So you can't throw the keys in the trunk on that car and lock them up. That's pretty good stuff right there, Dale.
Wow.
That's the truth.
Wow.
Yeah, I watched that sales guy do that 2 times.
Interesting.
Yeah, sure enough.
Well, now I need to talk to you about my. We got a few minutes here. I got to talk to you about my front end alignment. Now, the precision of the machine that you have down there.
Right.
I was on US 60 coming west in eastern Missouri. I was like in Sikeston and all that stuff. You know how lazy I got having to just sit there with my hands off the steering wheel while the thing tracks straight?
Did you wake up at any one?
Yeah, for that curve at Fremont, Missouri.
Yeah, the one curve. Man, that's good to hear. So you're happy with it?
Ooh, big time.
Yeah. Man, that. I bet people get tired of hearing me say it, but that machine does such a fantastic job. You know, the measurement, and I'm not, the precision of that thing is ridiculous. And then, of course, Tony knows what he's doing, and he knows how to use that machine. And, boy, you get the two of them together, and they're a good combination. Man, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. Folks, I'll tell you what, if you're driving a vehicle that's got, say, 115 to 120,000, I don't care what brand it is, go see Mike and Tony, get a quick strut set, check the tie rod ends and ball joints if applicable, and have Tony realign it. It's going to be like a brand new car.
It is amazing sometimes the difference in vehicles. We had a lady in the other day, and we replaced 4 ball joints. Hers were terrible, just absolutely falling off. And she had 1 tie rod out of 4 that was loose, and we replaced it. And a day or two later, she called me back. She had been up to Springfield and back in it, up through Branson and all. She was just as happy as she could be.
Yeah, it's
She said, I wondered, my car got to where you kind of had to chase it down the road, and it's gone now. It drives as straight as a string, and we all do it because suspension parts are like everything else typically on a car. They wear slowly, and it happens over a period of time, and it gets away from us, and it happens so gradually. We just accept it as the way the car is supposed to drive, as it changes, and that's not the case. And once we got her front end fixed up on that and got a good alignment on it.
What kind of car was it?
It was an older Chevy Caprice or a Buick Roadmaster.
Oh, I bet it drove really good.
Yeah.
Man,
you don't see me in them anymore, do you?
No. Boy, that's a trademark from years gone by too.
Yep.
Roadmaster used to be the premier Buick back in the post-World War II days.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, fine car.
We've got several of the Roadmasters.
Yeah.
That still come in the shop. Now I'm talking 90s, like 92 to 95, maybe somewhere in there. Big old rear wheel drive cars, and
comfortable, quiet.
And if you're going to travel in a car, that's probably going to be a pretty comfortable way to do it. It's big, the seats are nice, they drive good, ride good. They're nice old cars.
They really are. Well, we got 2 minutes left. Let's talk a little bit about oil change and filters. You got all major brand of motor oil. And you've got filters for just about everything. If not, you can order and have them possibly even as fast as overnight for something really rare, perhaps.
Yep. We had a lady called last week with an Audi S4, I believe it was. And we had to order that oil filter, but we had the oil for it. And
what did it run?
It ran a zero. Let me think. I'm trying to make sure I'm remembering right. I believe it was 040.
040?
Uh-huh.
Wow, I'm surprised it's that heavy in the Audi.
Yeah, 040. Well, you see that in some of these vehicles now, We got a guy that has a Chrysler 300, one of the SRT, like a 6.1 liter Hemi, and it runs 040.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Sure does.
Wow, that's surprising.
But her Audi S4, we had to order an oil filter for it. We had it for her. She came in the next morning. Her husband brought it in the next morning. We knocked it right out. Yeah, we have.
Was that a cartridge style?
No, it's spin-on.
Really?
Yep, it's spin-on filter.
Wow, interesting.
Yep. And, we have so many oil filters up there. Yes, we can cover 95% of the cars and trucks that's on the road in Mountain Home today. We've got them sitting there. But for that 5% that we don't, we can have it there. O'Reilly, Napa, some of these car places around here, Harold Tucker's will have them. If they don't, we'll have them by the next day. I mean, it's just that easy. If you drive a vehicle that's a little bit odd, give me a call ahead of time and let's just make sure. And we don't want to waste your time by coming by and find out we can't do it till the next day.
Yeah.
So give me a call. Let me see if we can get everything rounded up. Oil the same way. We've got engine oil up there that will fit the recommendations of probably 95% of the manufacturers, but there's always an odd one here or there. So let me know.
You bet. Minute Mechanics located on Highway 201 North across from Salvation Army, 425-3135. They're there Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Mike and the gang are waiting to serve you, so give him a call. Give him a chance to get back to the shop, though.
Yeah, give me about 5 minutes.
Time for the news. Be right back.